So in this case, it's an unintentional sin, and that's the reason. As soon as he does this and he realizes what happened, the first thing Adam does is he asks God for forgiveness. Yes, and within Jannah, within the heaven, within paradise, he was forgiven already. Now the Christians and the Jews, they believe that Adam, as a punishment, he was kicked out of the paradise and he was sent to earth. Some say the paradise was already on earth, but regardless, he was kicked out of paradise. That is important. But in Islam, we don't believe he was kicked out of paradise because of that. It is something that Allah had already decreed. That means Allah had already planned before, 50 years before he was even created. So before Adam was created, Allah had already decreed that he'll be made what? A vicegerent. He'll be made to represent God on the earth. Now this is a decree which was fulfilled when Allah sends him to earth. So there are two differences. One difference, Adam and Eve were not blamed for the downfall of humanity. So there is no concept of the original sin in Islam. Secondly, they were already forgiven for their forgetfulness. Yes, and this is something which is very clear in Surah Al-Baqarah. Thirdly, Allah had already planned that they will be going, before Adam and Eve were created, Allah already planned and decreed that they will be made representatives on earth. They'll be made Khalifas, vicegerents and representatives.
His point was he wanted to know the difference of fallen angel and Iblis.
I'm trying to understand is, was Satan in the Islamic perspective created by God?
Oh yeah, of course. And everyone's created.
And he was an angel.
No, we don't believe he was an angel. We believe he was amongst the angels.
He was amongst the angels, but he was a created being.
All are created. The angels are created. The Satan is created. Humans are created. The jinn are created. All of these are created.
So he'd be a created spirit being. He wouldn't have a corporeal.
Not like us.
Okay, so God created.
So Allah says He created humans from the dust, the angels from light, and jinn from fire. So Allah tells us what they're created from.
I really want to understand this genuinely, because I've had a bit of a convo. I don't want to, mucking around and trying to trick me. I want to understand it. So see if I've got this right. So God created Satan, who was an angelic being.
No. God created Satan from fire. God created angels from light. God created humans from dust.
So Satan would be unique in being created from fire.
When I say Satan, I mean Satan. He's one of the jinn. So Allah says in the Quran, min al-jinn. So the Satan is from the jinn, and the jinns are created from fire.
Okay, angels are from light, jinn from fire. So God created Satan with the foreknowledge that he would influence Adam to eat the fruit.
No, look, like the humans, the jinn have a free will.
Okay, now I see what you're saying, the difference between angels and not having free will.
So the angels do not have a free will. They are commanded and they have to do. So if Allah tells an angel prostrate, so until Allah tells him not to prostrate, he'll keep prostrating.
Sure.
Okay? Unlike the jinn and the humans, when Allah commands them something, they have the freedom, the free will to disobey Allah, and they have the free will to obey Allah.
I was just thinking an atheist would say the same as to a Christian. So God created a being to influence man to sin in picking the apple he was told not to, with foreknowledge that this is what this created being would do. And an atheist would turn to me and say, so in effect, God has made this coming to be. So that would be similar then to the Jewish and Christian narrative.
I'll say no.
With one exception of it being free will or the difference between an angelic being.
Good question. But the reason I'll say no to that question is because what is free will? Free will doesn't mean to only do bad. Free will is choosing between the bad and the good. Okay? So to disobey Allah or to obey Allah, that is free will. Now amongst the jinn, there are jinns who obey Allah. And there are
Even though they're made from fire.
Yeah, by the way, the jinn are not the demons that the Christians use the term. So for us, we don't use the term demon, because demon is always with a negative connotation. Now that is very different to what the Muslims do. We believe there are amongst the jinns who obey Allah, and there are amongst the jinns who disobey Allah, and the Iblis or the Satan is one of the ones who disobey Allah. Now this is something that, when he was caught taught by Allah, who basically misled Adam to disobey by forgetting and by eating of the fruit that Allah had
So
commanded
the knowledge
Adam.
of good and evil is part of it.
No,
Just
no,
he
they don't know
forgot
the
what
qadr.
God had instructed.
They don't know the qadr, the foreknowledge. That knowledge is only with Allah. In fact, there is something called Lahul Mahfuz, the preserved tablets, and many people translate that as the eternal tablets. No, only Allah is eternal. And the preserved tablets are something that has all of this information there.
Sure.
Yes, and Allah says in the Quran that He will guard this against the jinn and the insan, against humans and the insan. They cannot approach it. Yes, and they cannot. If anyone tries, then they will be basically punished and sent. Now, in the preserved tablets is qadr, so the foreknowledge, and in the preserved tablets is all the revelations, like the Torah, the Zabur, Injil, Quran, everything already was there. And gradually Allah revealed this to His prophets and messengers as He deemed according to His wisdom. So going back to the question about the jinn, yes, the jinn are good and bad, and the Iblis is one of the
Because
bad
they
ones.
have free will. This is why you can see there's good and bad.
So as soon as Adam alayhi salam, peace be upon him, when he sinned, immediately he asked Allah for his forgiveness.
Sure.
Yes, so he prays to Allah for forgiveness, and Allah forgives him. This is in the Quran. Yes, and the jinn, when he was asked by Allah to prostrate, yes, this is a specific command given to him. Yes, he disobeys Allah, and he says, "Why should I prostrate?" By the way, this is not a prostration of worship. It's a prostration of a command of Allah to show that this creation is better than you guys.
That's really interesting. You've just awoken a scripture passage because am I right in thinking that there were other fallen angels, not just Satan? There was another group of angels that went.
We don't use the term fallen angels.
But this is why
there's no angels have
no,
fallen
but
in Islam.
this fits into the jinn.
So you need to keep the two separate.
Yeah,
For us, they are two separate entities.
Yeah.
The jinn are not the angels,
Sure.
and the angels are not the jinn.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm with you. But one thing for me as a Christian who's hopefully building on Judaic foundations is that neither of those two groups of people, being people of the book, in neither of their sacred scriptures do they mention a class of beings
Sorry, who are
called
the
jinn.
people of the book?
The
They might
Jews-
use a different terminology.
Yeah, but a group of people made from fire who have free will.
Don't you have
not-
something called the evil spirits or unholy spirits or something like that?
Wicked spirits.
Yeah. Or is it you call them the fallen angels?
Yeah, we
maybe?
would call those fallen angels.
And they are the giants and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
giants.
so you have different
But,
terminology.
yeah.
Maybe might be referring to the jinn, because to us, as normal human beings, we don't see the jinn.
For sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
but there are certain humans who are given the power to see the jinns.
Yeah.
Okay,
This is where we're in agreement because we believe in spirit possession.
like
Muslims
Solomon,
and-
like
yeah.
Solomon could
Yeah.
command the jinn, and we know that Solomon was a human being.
Yeah.
So he had the ability to command the jinn,
Sure.
he had the ability to command the animals
Yeah.
and the birds and the humans. Okay,
Sure.
so this is something, a specific what do you say, miracle that had been given to Sulaiman
Sure.
alayhi salam,
Yeah.
and he prayed to Allah not to give this ability and power to anyone after me, and that ability was not given to anyone else after Solomon.
Am I right?
Sorry. I think I was talking to you about when Adam alayhi salam, when Adam was forgiven after he was, this was while he was in Jannah. So he was forgiven of his forgetfulness, and this is the end of the matter. So when Adam was taken from Jannah to earth, from paradise to earth, this is something Allah had already decreed more than 50 years before His creation. So Allah had already said, I will send him as a vicegerent, as a khalifa on earth.
As a human being, I prefer your narrative to the Jewish one, but if we're building on Judaism, how come there's a conflict in the two foundational beginnings in the Genesis?
Who is building on the Jewish narrative? Not us.
No, the Jews, presumably, being the original monotheists, the people of the book, the ones who give us the mosaic, give us our mosaic.
I wouldn't say they're the original monotheists. Was Abraham a monotheist?
Presumably.
He was a monotheist.
Yeah.
Allah says in the Quran, he's neither of the Jews nor the Christians. So there, Adam was a monotheist.
Sure.
Adam.
Yeah.
Noah was a monotheist.
Sure.
So I can find many monotheists before the Jews.
My point
They were not the
is,
original
Hashim,
monotheists.
in the Torah, it has a different narrative to the one you've explained, and I'm wondering
Yes,
why.
I agree.
Why would it have a difference?
The difference could actually be understood from the time the Torah was revealed until what is the earliest extant manuscript of the Torah today? More than 1,000 years after
So you're
Moses.
saying that could be corrupt,
Yeah,
the Jewish understanding of...
Absolutely. Because to me, if you have a gap of 1,000 years after Moses,
Yeah.
it has every reason to have corruption. And in fact, Jesus came to show the Pharisees where they are wrong and what they are misinterpreting and what they are saying wrong.
I must admit,
and
though, Hashim,
that shows to us that Jesus came to correct them.
The Genesis,
Yeah.
as a book, is a book that's quite integral. You can't take a chunk out of it because the rest won't stand up. So it's presenting something to us, a story of the creation of man through to his fall, etc., etc. Now, if there was corruption, I can understand you could move a few verses here or there, but the Jews also had an oral Torah, which buttresses a bit like you have your hadith, that buttress the actual revealed scriptures. And if the two align, the Jewish story of Genesis, and it's out of line, the Jewish and the Christian story of Exodus is out of line with the Islamic one, you're suggesting that the Jewish scriptures were corrupted and that's why they're out of line?
Let me correct you one thing. You compared the oral tradition to the hadith. Okay? For us, the hadith is not the Quran, and the Quran is not the hadith. So the Quran is a revelation, and Allah says in the Quran that it will be preserved. Okay? Now you compare this to the Torah or the existing New Testament and the Old Testament. Nowhere in them will you find this phrase of Allah or God guaranteeing the preservation. In fact, in Jeremiah 8:8, it says the lying pen of the scribes has corrupted it. Okay?
To the extent of undermining the whole story of the beginning of mankind.
No, I'm not saying everything. I'm not saying everything is corrupted. So don't get me wrong. When I say it's corrupted, I don't mean everything. I mean there are things in there which has been corrupted, and we can see this very clearly. For example, in Genesis chapter 6, verse 6, it says God regretted. And why did he regret?
Grief.
Why did he? No, the term there is regret, not just grief. The reason he regretted is because when he saw that humans had been corrupted. Yes?
The Septuagint actually said grieved.
Well, even grief.
So God grieves
What is the
for
meaning?
me, he grieves for you.
What
God grieves
is the
for
meaning
sin.
of grief? Means you're
Grief,
saddened in your heart.
He was sorry.
Yeah. Why would God be sorry of something that he already knows of the future?
Well, this is he made us. He's sorry for every one of our sins.
No,
with
listen
the pre-knowledge
to
that we
this,
actually
Colin.
will sin.
If you knew
Yeah.
that one of your, I don't know, let's say one of your students was going to fail, yes, and you knew that was going to happen as
wouldn't have brought them into
a guarantee,
existence,
as a guarantee. You wouldn't be regretting that, or you would be grieving that, or you'll be surprised at all. Yes, you might feel that, look, I knew this guy was going to fail. You might say something like that. To me, that is neither grieving, nor regret, nor anything else. It is something that you already knew was going to happen as a consequence of his actions. Now,
It's a bit like Satan being created with God having the foreknowledge that he would make Adam forget.
Yeah, but that's to me, what is important is that did Satan know that? No, he didn't know that.
No,
exactly. So to me, this is not something that the Satan planned. This was the character of the Satan.
Right.
His character of choosing to disobey God, and of his, you know what is the main thing? What is the reason for his fall in Christianity?
For Adam's fall.
For the Satan's fall.
For Satan's fall.
Yes. His pride, his ego. Yes, because when Allah told him to prostrate, yes, to Adam, he says, no, you created him from dust and I am created from fire. In other words, he was the first racist. Yes, because he's saying, I'm better than this guy, why should I prostrate to him? So in other words, he was not only jealous, but he was also, his ego and his pride led to his downfall. And that is out of his racism of in comparison to another creation of Allah, the human being. Yes, and that is what we see here.
Hashim, could we go back to this idea that for the Islamic narrative to be the correct one, the Judaic narrative has to be corrupt? That's my
Well,
choice.
the only way I can actually explain this is there are instances in the Jewish scripture, like Jeremiah 8:8, where it clearly states that the lying pens of the scribes have corrupted.
Is that in the
That's in Jeremiah 8:8. Yeah,
that proves that it's true, because you wouldn't say something was false unless that statement presumably is true that you're just saying.
No, I'm not saying.
That
I'm not saying it's not.
incident was recorded.
By the way,
Torah.
Colin, I'm not saying it's true or false. What I'm saying is that, to me, that actually
Against the Bible.
is something that agrees with what I'm saying. That the scribes had corrupted the message of God.
Yeah, I'd find that one verse very difficult to reconcile the Jewish nation, as far as every recorded evidence we have of it, narrative of the creation of man in his fall is wrong and false. I'd actually say, well,
Why
no.
would you disagree with it?
Well, because if you've got a verse in the Old Testament that says the lying pen of the scribes, okay, the lying pen of the scribes has been identified as the lying pen. Well, the statement itself is saying that the scribes lied and wrote some things down. But that means it must be in the true book, or it wouldn't be in